Thank you, everyone, for taking the time today to join us. We're joined by Michael Zerafa. He has come in with quite the statement. A few years back, everyone remembers there was a fight in Newcastle that didn't eventuate, that I know we would all love to see one day. Joey Spencer's camp have indicated they're not too pleased with the fact that as it stands, there's no there's the three judges are most likely all going to be from this side of the world, which they believe they didn't agree to. And Michael is putting his hand up if they do not wish to continue with that, if they believe it's not fair and they're not going to get a fair outcome in that fight. Michael, probably for the second time in a month, has put his hand up to step into the main event. But this one, I think everyone knows, holds a little bit more weight. So I'll pass it over probably to you, Cody, first, to get us going.
Can you hear me, Mick?
Cody, how are we?
Good, brother. Mick, first of all, when did you find out that this had happened and that you might need to be on standby?
Yesterday after training, I was driving home, and obviously I seen that Spencer's team weren't happy, and there was a potential cancelling the fight because of the judges and the situation that we're in. And I said straight away, I said to Celine, my partner, I said, send a message to Matt Rose and No Limit. And, this is the second time I've made it quite clear now that, if the fight doesn't go on, I'm more than happy to step in. I mean, I'm taking it on 4 or 5 days notice. So I'm more than happy to do so.
That being said, would you be ready to fight Tim? Like, have you been sparring? Like, I don't know what your weight is at the moment. I know you're always pretty close.
100%. I mean, everyone that knows me, even Tim's team know that I'm ready. I'm still sparring twice a day. Like the night of my fight, I woke up 4 or 5 hours later. I was in the gym at 4:35 in the morning in Sydney running. And Nick Noonan can back me up because I was on the phone to him at the time. But I haven't had a day off since my fight. I never have a day off. I've been sparring twice a week, still keeping everything up. I mean, my weight's at 73 kilos now, so 500 grams if it's a middleweight is easy. And I mean, worst case scenario, if I have to make 69, I can.
Do you think Tim's been very vocal that he'll never fight you? Do you think if he's left with no other choice, this may be the only way you get him in there?
100%, and I've made it quite clear. I mean, I know I'm the bad guy and whatnot, but there's nothing against him. I mean, if the fight doesn't happen, I mean, I've seen a lot of comments, that a lot of people would be absolutely gutted if the fight was on because they've purchased tickets and it's an event that's going away. So, not trying to be the hero or anything. I'm just saying, like we've got unfinished business. It's a fight that everybody wants, and I mean, I'm ready to go. It makes perfect sense if the Spencer fight doesn't happen.
Thanks, Mick.
Next up, Jake, do you want to ask a question?
Absolutely. What's going on, Mike? How are you?
How are you, my brother? Good?
Yeah, man. Very good, man. So this is a weird situation because you and I personally have been talking about this for as long as I've known you, as long as Nonito's entered your life. Would you be surprised at all if Tim went through with this fight? And the reason I ask is Tim went through this exact same situation this time, literally on this day last year, where he fought a substitute opponent and it wound up in his first loss. Do you really think he's willing to do that again?
Look, I think because of such a build-up of the fight that we've had and the animosity between me and him, I feel like, he'd be very reluctant to take that fight. But I feel like he's on the back foot. If Spencer doesn't take this fight, and because of the judges, I feel like he's left with no other alternative but to fight me. And I'm being very vocal here, saying that I'm here, I'm ready. And despite the 4 or 5 days, everyone that knows me knows I live in the gym. I literally opened up a gym in Melbourne for that very reason. To be training non-stop. So there's no excuses. Win, lose or draw on my end, or win, lose on draw on his end. The fight card should still happen.
Got it. And then how long did it even, I know you said, I know personally that you live in the gym. How long did it take you to recover from, I know it was a relatively one-sided fight for you on March 12th, but how long did it take you to recover for that and then just get completely into fight mode? Not just training mode, but, fight mode for a moment like this.
Yeah, like I said, I was straight back in the gym. I mean, we went out afterwards and we had a little bit of celebration with the team. We got something to eat and relax, but I was back in the gym at 5:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning before I brought it back to Melbourne. I haven't had a day off. There was a few years that I broke my hand, which, I was confident that I did do. But I got back to Melbourne, I got it checked out, and there was no severe damage, which I was grateful for. And just a few bruising on the bone and whatnot. Just the way I hit his head, it just swelled up and whatnot. I thought I really did the break, but we're all good. We're back to sparring, back to punching on and doing what we do best. So I'm ready. Like I said, I'm super fit.
Got it. Well, Mike, I'm really hoping and praying that you do get this opportunity. I hate to see Joey Spencer pull out, but if not, there's no one better for the moment than you. So best of luck to you, bro.
Oh man, thank you.
Got it.
Ben Damon.
Hey, Mick, do you have a message specifically for Tim Tszyu?
There's nothing, that I've got in my mind besides let's just get it on, man, once and for all. He says he beats me. I say I beat him. There's only one way to, settle that, and it could be this Sunday. So, like I said, talk's cheap. If Spencer's not there, there's no excuse why we shouldn't get it on. Nothing personal, purely business.
What happens, do you think, if you do get there on Sunday on short notice with him having a full prep? How do you think the fight goes?
Look, I've said since day one, styles make fights, and I truly believe that I have the arsenal to beat him. I think I've got the skills and the mindset to beat Tim. When he has stepped up, he has been exposed, and so was I. There's been times where I've stepped up and not looked the best, or I've been beaten by world-class opponents, and that's boxing. But between me and him, I think I've got what it takes, and I'm super switched on for this fight. I mean, like I said, I feel like the old Zerafa's coming back, and we saw glimpses of it in the last fight, and the way I went about everything, and I feel like it's going to happen, very soon. So I'm ready.
And lastly, mate, as someone who did pull out at late notice on a Tim Tszyu fight, do you understand where Joey Spencer's coming from? And do you think that his team, if they were to pull the pin here, are potentially making the right call, or do you disagree with it?
Look, yeah, I think if it was Spencer's team saying that it was agreed on prior to the fight actually taking place, and it was something that was contractually done. So, I mean, I get where they're coming from, as it was, stated in the contract. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fight. You got to go in there and do what you got to do. And if you don't leave it to the judge's decision and get the knockout, I mean, they don't even matter. But, if it was something that was stated in the previous talk, prior to signing, then I guess, then I see their point of view. But at the end of the day, like I said, it is what it is. And going there, I've been over there with 3 American judges and whatnot against me, but you just got to do it. But I mean, if it was something that was stated, I mean, I see where they're coming from. Yeah.
Okay. Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
Opening up the floor. Anyone else like to ask a question? Yeah, Cody, fire away. You're on mute.
Nick, if Joey pulls out and Tim's then decides not to fight you, what possible reason could he have for turning it down at this point?
Well, they always say that I'm scared, and I mean, the fight didn't happen because of reasons that No Limit and Tim know. There was a lot of complications in my last team and management and whatnot, and that took years to clear my name from that, and I still suffer with the dramas that the first fight didn't happen, which I had nothing to do with, sadly. But look, if he doesn't find me, it purely shows that he's dodging me. I mean, like I've made it quite clear previous to this call out that I'd step in. I've done it on numerous occasions that I'm ready, But for some reason, he always just says he would fight me. He'd only do it in a street fight. I mean, he's got better chances in the ring if he's going to beat me rather than a street fight. But I mean, it is what it is. But I just feel like, he's kind of avoiding me now. Like, and people are starting to notice it. Like, I mean, you're going to have his Tim fans say that Zerafa's this and Zerafa's that, which is fine. But for me, I want that fight. And I mean, I've cleaned out my backyard. I fought everybody here. And he keeps saying, if you fight my brother or fight Nikita first, then you got pulling power. But I'm actually ranked higher than him at the moment. I'm ranked across 2 sanctioning bodies and higher than him in the world rankings. So, I mean, people that know boxing know this, but people that don't just get on the Tszyu bandwagon.
What's your next 3 or 4 days going to look like then? Because I get the feeling like we might not have a definitive answer on whether or not I feel like if they pull out, it could be last minute.
Well, it's already 1 o'clock. I've already done 2 training sessions. I mean, I've got 1 more for the day. Like I said, I'm ready. Nothing changes for me. I mean, they fly me up. If I get the call, I'll fly up tomorrow or whenever the hell it is, today, tomorrow, and we flick the switch and it's fight mentality. We go into war again.
Cheers, Mick.
Thanks, Cody. Jake, you want to follow up?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. So I did want to ask Michael, I know you're always training. Were you training for anything specific, or were you just kind of waiting out the results of this weekend and then taking it from there?
No, to be honest, I didn't even think of this fight. I mean, even in my last fight, when me and Tim aren't fighting each other, I got nothing against Tim. And this is what I tried to, make quite clear after my last fight. Obviously, when he's got an opponent and I've got an opponent, I'm in Tim's corner. We're both Aussie. I would never like to see an American or an Englishman or, another guy around the world beat another Aussie, whether it's Tim or his brother. And I try to make that quite clear, and I want it to be clear, to the media and to the public that I've actually got nothing against him, despite our competitiveness and that he thinks I win, I think I win. There's nothing he's done to me. So when we're not fighting each other, I'm going to be very vocal, and I want that fight when we're not scheduling to fight anybody else. But when we're fighting somebody else, I'm in his corner, and at the moment now, going into this week, he was fighting Spencer, so I was in his corner. I wanted him to get the win and elevates Aussie boxing, elevates each other, and builds for something bigger and better. If I move on and get a world title, he wins one or whatever, we can, defend it against each other. But now that fight's off, we're back into that Zerafa zoo. So now I've got to be vocal again and again try to push for that fight. Nothing personal, nothing against him or his family. It's just purely there's no one left for me to fight. So if I'm not fighting anyone in Australia, I'm just sitting down waiting for my promoters and team to get, moving forward fights overseas, whether it be in the WBO, WBA, or ranked across the other sanctioning bodies. I'm just waiting and trying to land bigger fights. But obviously in Australia, the only one left is Tim. So now that we're both with no fight, that's why I become vocal again.
Got it. Thanks. And then Tim, I had a question for you. I don't know if you can answer this publicly, but to Cody's point that Spencer could take this all the way down to the last minute, is there a deadline for when this issue needs to be resolved one way or another?
That was directed to me, Jake. Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Look, I imagine we will have an answer sort of over the coming days, with the sanctioning bodies, also with Combat Sports New South Wales, who is presiding over the event.
Got it. All right. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Just tell him at Rose to get his checkbook out.
For me or for you, Michael?
For both of us. We both need a paper.
Is there any other questions, guys? Well, we got their last chance with Michael. I dare say there'll be some follow-ups, obviously, but while we've got Michael here for everyone. All right. Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you, Michael, for the time, and I'm sure it's not the last we'll be hearing from you this week. And if it does happen, then quite the turnaround from a few years ago. So stay ready.
Awesome. Always ready. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks all.